Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel. And here we are on a beautiful Saturday, June the 17th. And look, it's just a gorgeous day. And I have a different angle of my yard this time because I love the little bird houses. Anyway, so here's the thing. This is what you see out my kitchen window. It's not a bad view, I think. I love it. But here it's Saturday, which means I like to review the videos I did last week, maybe answer some questions or concerns or stuff like that. Comments, comments, you guys are so nice. You make the nicest comments. And talk about what's coming next week and kind of like what I'm working on. And I noticed that I'm working on more than I can fit in a week, pretty much every single week. So I'll tell you what I'm working on. And those videos that I'm working on might be over the next couple of weeks, but I'll fill you in. But anyway, there's a lot going on. Last week was such a fun week, and it ended in such a fun road trip. I'm going to have to tell you about that. But first of all, let's talk about last Sunday was the freezer challenge. And you guys know that Linda over at Linda's Pantry and I are doing this challenge where we're taking meat from our freezer for 6 months. And we're making room in our freezer for new stuff, which is important to rotate and cycle the food. So I have actually found a couple of things that was surprising. And one of them I got last week was there was a bag of what I could tell was beef, but it was frozen solid. I couldn't really tell what it was. When it thawed out, it was beautiful stew meat. And I have 2 more bags like that. I didn't label them. And I'm like the queen of labeling. So I'm pretty surprised by that. But now I know what they are, so I can go label them. So anyway, what I did with that on my video, so last week I did 2 videos. I actually took a little hiatus in the middle of the week, but that's fine. So from that meat, I did the video on Sunday, and then at the end of the week, Thursday and Friday, is when I did the recipes. Actually, I cooked them on Wednesday and Thursday and posted them for Thursday and Friday. But I did kind of like this French dip Philly cheesesteaky kind of sandwich, and that was just super simple. I used that Philly cheesesteak meat that I took out of the freezer, and I love that stuff. You can get it a lot of places. I mean, just ask them if they have it at like restaurant supply places, because those restaurants that serve them have to get them. So that was really cool. And I think, excuse me, I want to say I probably have maybe 1 or 2 more packages of that. So my friend and I, he actually owned a restaurant, and so we went in halves on one of those cases because I certainly didn't need it, and he just wanted something that was going to be like a special for the day, so he didn't expect to serve as many as came in a case. So he and I agreed that we would split them. So we split them. I vacuum sealed them in 2 patty packages because it's just usually, I like to do that because it's me and Brian, and that way I don't have extras. There's Brian and I. And then if someone comes over, I just take out 2 packages instead of having to worry about the extra to re-refrigerate or whatever. So we did that, and he had a great Philly cheesesteak special that week, and then I had all of those things in my freezer. But I have done that with him for a couple of things. Like there was a thing where the restaurant supply store had hot dogs, really nice hot dogs. So he and I went in on a case together. So if you can find someone that can split a case of things with you, go home, vacuum seal them, label them, and you'll have them for a long time. So it's very cool. So anyway, I did the sandwiches, and then I did the stroganoff-y kind of thing. I called it a stroganoff-y thingy, whatever. It's not really an official stroganoff, but that's how I cook. It's just, I know there's a thing, and then I kind of see what I have, and I duplicate as closely as I can. That is just my method. That's how I learned to cook. I should have gone to cooking school. I actually went to massage school, but I should have gone to cooking school. Anyway, so that was cool. So I made that. But the key is to get a good tenderizer, like my tenderizer with all the little pokies. Like somebody said, that could be a weapon. It really could. Like, it'd be bad. Anyway, you could just tenderize a person. But that's not very nice to say. But anyway, that was a comment. It was good. Anyway, so I tenderized the stew meat pieces, because if you ever know, like if you use it in different things, it'll get really tough. And so tenderizing it really helps. And that stroganoff-y thingy that I made, the meat was super tender. And I will also tenderize them before I do like a kebab or something, because it's just easier and it is much nicer. And if you're seasoning it, it helps to penetrate the flavor. So tenderizing is a key. And I did my little nighttime garden just because so my garden, I call it a hobby garden. Yeah, I want a bunch of stuff out of it that we can eat. I'm probably not going to ever produce enough of it to can huge amounts. I mean, I've done beets. I've ended up with maybe 6 pints of beets or something like that, but not enough for like a ton of stuff on my shelf. I get that from friends or at the farmer's market and things like that. And I have friends that have, they sell huge amounts of stuff. So, and there's U-Picks. There's one U-Pick, it's really cool. We used to go to that, and I haven't been in a couple years, and he may not be doing it anymore. I'll need to check. But you go out to his place, and there's everything you could ever dream of. And you just go pick it, and literally you walk in his garage, and he has a cooler with water bottles and soda, and it says $1 and has a coffee can next to it. He has 2 scales hanging from the roof of like his garage, which is cleaned out just for this reason. And you go in there and you can clean all the greens or what you don't want off of it, and then you weigh the produce, and there's literally a little can there that's bolted down, but it's locked, and it's an honor system. It says you how much a pound, and you just put the cash in there. And I've got beans and stuff from him many times, but I haven't been over there a couple years. I'll have to check and see if he's doing it this year. I heard that he got a lot older and isn't doing the garden like that, but that's where I'm going to get the stuff to can. Back to my garden. My garden, I call it a hobby garden because it's enough for us to have and enjoy, but it's not enough to really like sustain you for a long time. But because of that, I like to make it a little bit whimsical and do fun things to it. So I've got little garden gnomes, and I actually went, I have to show you sometime. There's a place in town, and it's where you go and you pick out your greenware and you paint it. And it's a ceramics thing. So I did these 2 gnomes. One of them looks like me, and one of them looks like Brian. They're in the strawberry patch right now. So that's kind of fun. So I do that kind of stuff. But I also do like the little solar lights. And I did a video of that, my nighttime garden, just because I like to look out and see it. And somebody commented that it's not good for the plants because they need so much darkness as well. And that's probably fine. It doesn't seem to bother them here. But quite frankly, we don't have blasty sun all day long, so it's not hurting them that way. Like, we have sunny days. Like, this is a super sunny day. But usually I have a lot of trees, so it's not direct sun for hours and hours. So that probably doesn't bother them. But also, they don't last that long. Like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 hours later, they're so dim, it's fine. But hey, I like it. It looks good. I do have to go and do a little weed whacking around my raised beds. Can't get a mower in there, and Brian can't ride the lawn tractor in there, so I have to get my little weed whacker and go around there. I'll probably do that this weekend. Okay. 13th and 14th, I didn't do any videos. The 13th was my birthday. I turned 63 this month, and that's really cool. And my good friends, Tammy and Craig, had us come over. We had Chinese food, and I brought a cake because her birthday was yesterday. So we kind of did a dual cake, said happy birthday, Tammy and Linda. And but we just had a good time. And so it was, thank you guys. It was really fun to go over there. We just like hanging out with them anyway, but anyway, so we went over there. That was what happened on the 13th. And then the 14th, I just hung out. I think I worked in my garden a little bit. Can't remember what else. Anyway, we just did stuff, so I didn't do any videos that day. And then I did the Philly cheesesteak sandwich, and then I did the stroganoff kind of thing. I gotta fix that. Well, that one is not ringing. My little white wind chimes. One of them's going. Okay, it ended. I did not post the video. The video's coming next week. But my week ended with a road trip Brian and I took. It was a road trip, but it was fun. I met up with somebody. I'm not going to tell you who it is. And we did some shopping at this awesome canning store. And I got some Mrs. Wages packets that I'm going to do. Honestly, I've never seen the Mrs. Wages tomato soup. And then there was a horseradish pickles. So I got those, and I'm going to make some pasta sauce, which I thought I was way low on the pasta sauce, but I went down, I was kind of organizing my pantry, and there was a box sitting over there. I thought, what is that? It was a canning box, you know, and I lifted it up, it's all pasta sauce. So I have 12 jars I didn't count on. So I'm actually probably going to make the tomato soup because I think that sounds awesome. And once I do that, I will have 6 more cans, and I will eventually do the video of my little growing can towers. I'll do a video of making that. So that was cool, and it was just a fun day. We had lunch. Brian and I came home, and it was just fun. So that video will be coming up this week. You'll see that probably Tuesday, I'm thinking. So look for that. And then, I did a video on how I clean my jars to prepare them to put them in the pantry. I've done this a couple times, but if you don't go back and watch it, it's good information People wash their jars all different ways. I'm just showing you how I do it, because you should be able to wash your jars like you're washing dishes, and the lid shouldn't come off. So I did a video on that. That's coming up this week. I also, we're focusing on this freezer thing, the freezer meals, but people are still using food from their pantry. So this week coming up, I do have a meal made from something from home canned pantry food. So that's coming up this week. So that I did have it for this past week, but I ended up having to move it. So it's actually coming up this week. And then that's all I have so far for this week. Our fun little road trip one, a thing about jars, and then a food storage meal that you'll want to watch because it turned out so good. It's delicious and it's super easy to make. So tomorrow I will do the freezer pick meal for what I'm going to cook this coming week. And that's such good coffee. My friend gave it to me for my birthday. So good. Debbie gave me this. And it is delicious. It's like a Starbucks spring blend. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Anyway, so tomorrow I'm going to do the freezer pick video. And, here's my thing, and I'm probably going to say this in the video too because I firmly believe it. So meat is an investment, like especially in freezer food, but food is an investment. And that's why you want to make sure that you keep up your pantry nicely and your freezer. But you know how they say to diversify your investments? Well, I have my freeze-dried food. I have my entire pantry in my fifth wheel is nothing but Thrive pantry cans of, I could live for a long time. If something happened, I could take my fifth wheel and live for a long time. My pantry here, I've got it kind of diversified, so I've got stuff up in my kitchen, but I've got stuff in my pantry. Freezers. I had a freezer fail. Turns out the outlet connection was bad. So the freezer's good, but it wasn't getting electricity. So fine. But I've got that up and running. So what I did was I took some of the meat that was, that I had elsewhere and put it in there. So now I've got it in a couple places. So, it's kind of like diversifying your investment. So I've got that. But I'm going to show you my freezer because I got a cool thing to eliminate ever having an issue with my freezer again. I'm going to show you that. So I'll probably do that video tomorrow and have that up next week because it's important. Also, how I organize it, because a lot of you people said, oh my gosh, you're like the labeling. But when you're packaging your food for labeling, I have a couple of tricks that will help you. So I'm going to show you that because that's important to know. And I'm planning to do a video on care of your canned goods, your home canned goods, and what to look for and what to do if you see something funky. So I'm working on that video. Hopefully I'll have that this week, if not next week. But that's what I'm working on. But today, I'm making a video. This is the coolest thing. So where we live, they have every year on Father's Day, they have a chainsaw carving festival. It's so much fun. So we're going to go up there, and happy Father's Day, everybody. Just a good time of year, this whole good time of year. Anyway, so we're going to go up there. It's very, very loud, so I'm going to do the video, and I'm going to do a voice over because now I know how to do that. I have never known how to do that, and then I was kind of forced to learn it. So it's pretty handy for things like this because the Chainsaw Festival is really loud, but every year they have kind of a theme, and it has turned into like an international thing. There's people that come from like Germany and Japan with chainsaws, and they make these amazing, you've seen those huge carved bears and stuff. Well, they have a theme, and so they will do these things, and you can buy stuff. They have an auction of the things that were created there, but it's a good time. So our friend's coming over, and we're going to go up and see the Chainsaw Carving Festival, and we're going to hang out there for the day. I'm going to do some videos, but I'm going to have to do a voiceover, so I hope I do that good. And that's it. My notes. I've gone from the top to the bottom of my paper. So that's it. And I just love this time of year. So we're all, Brian and I also have to make a display. We've got, we're making, I can't tell you, well, it doesn't matter. I'll show you a video of it. But we're making a portion of the display for our booth and the Master Gardener booth at the county fair, which is literally in like 6 weeks. It's the last full week of July. I'm excited about that. I'm going to have a bunch of handiwork, and I think I'm going to enter some cookies and maybe some breads, just some baking stuff this year. Baking and handwork. So I'm going to do that. So I've got to get busy on that. But I never kind of stop. My brain constantly works. I feel like my brain is one of those things like on a like a little hamster on a wheel. It just never stops. But that's good, because I never am bored. So anyway, there you go. And I hope you enjoyed the coming up videos. I hope you enjoyed the videos I had last week. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.